JWO, Juggalo World Order.
Welcome, everybody. It's your boy and the keeper, the Visage Stoner. We're here with another episode of JWO Clowning Around. We got everybody in the house tonight. We got the president, TJ Tucker, the vice president, Rob Roberts, and the killer, Kevin Chase, all here tonight. What's up, folks? What is happening?
What's up?
What up, brother?
What's new? I mean, we talked a little earlier this week. Obviously, we know what is new, and that's the shiny belts around your guys' waists. Look at that.
Right here, baby.
Look at it.
Right here, baby.
Look at that
Right
beauty
there.
right there. Right next to my other beauty right there, too. You know?
Yep.
Well deserved.
Fucking
Thank you,
beauty
brother.
right there. Thank you very much, Killer. Worked our asses off, you know, in that Fed, too. And it just goes to show you it's a cliche thing, but, you know, we got to say it, too. Hard work pays off, man, you know?
We came
Definitely.
from down to the bottom. Nobody knew who the fuck we were. Then now we're the top tag team champions in AWL. The top. We're the big dogs now.
I mean, you even defeated some local, more than local, actually. You know, you defeated some legends in the game.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we took pictures with them too at on the bottom of the locker room and shit. After the match and shit, they already gave us props and everything. They held the belts up and our hands up and shit after the match. Gave us our respect where respect was due after, and then we all got together at the end and took a picture on the bottom of the locker room, and it was a great freaking vibe, a great time, and I still have to say, on behalf of the JWO, thank you very much to Danger Boy and Wolverine for putting in your time in that tag team gauntlet.
You know, and that was the thing, you know, it was just strictly business. There was nothing personal against, you know, them. But you did what had to be done to bring the gold home for the JWO, you know. And not just for the JWO here, but for, you know, the juggalos and juggalettes across the world. You know, and there's more than people really, you know about. I think, you know, I think some people see the JWO, they might think it's some local thing. Some people don't know the heritage history and, you know, just the mass scale of what juggalos actually are and how vast it actually expands, because it is worldwide. There's people that, you know, are down with the clown all over the place. And it's not a gang, it's not a cult, it's not a religious sect of where you're worshiping some clown. It transcends all that down to just two things: music and love, man.
Hell
Yep,
yes.
absolutely.
Hell yes.
Definitely.
Bob Marley said it. Bob Marley said it once. One love, and that's all it matters is one love.
Yeah, no, but couldn't be more proud of you guys going out doing what you had to do. Not just doing it, but you did it from starting. Not like he said, started at the bottom in the Fed, but also in that match, you came out, you drew number one, you whipped through two ninjas really fast, quicker than what's his name, Bruce Lee strikes, and then you moved on to this other team. You dealt with them as well, and then you moved on to the Legends. It's like. That's 6 men that you're taking out in the, expanse of a match. Just, just great work. Just great, tremendous work out there. Getting that job done, securing it. A lot of teams have fallen, trying to make it to where you are right now, today.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
But, AWL, great show. One of the best that I've seen in a very long time. Sunday was great. It really was.
Yeah, it felt very different atmosphere than any other AWL show that we've all been on.
Yeah,
I mean,
there definitely was a difference when you crossed over that threshold that day. It was real different.
And I mean, there was
to find out, it wasn't just our luck that hit that day; it was others too and shit. I mean,
there was
the
a bunch
entire
of luck.
show
I mean,
got one of the first big up ratings before,
we saw a bunch of titles change hands that day, which was really kind of cool. I mean, we saw a new champion crowned. Mr. X Jr. was granted a championship, and then he had to defend that belt though that night later on against Dan Biondi. I'm not going to spoil anything, but
yeah, me neither.
But we do have that new champion, Mr. X Jr. Then, we also saw one of our very own grab something at the end of the night. I'm not going to spoil that again because I know footage is coming out. But if you do follow the social posts and social media of any of these wrestlers, you will see, spoilers. But it won't come from my mouth. But yes, again, a lot of things happened. And the only reason I mention you guys' titles is because, it's been publicly mentioned within the AWL group. I saw the photos pretty much from them. But, a lot of things have kind of, changed in AWL that make it kind of feel more, of a different approach. I mean, first off, when I first was introduced to AWL, it was post-pandemic. I understand they were in the Chop Shop prior to that, which is a totally different venue. Could have fans, could have totally different, atmosphere. I understand that. And, after the pandemic, unfortunately that place closed and it was a home to a lot of promotions. A lot of promotions had to find new homes. They found, Showcase out in Woonsocket. Great venue. A little bit different of a vibe, though. But when we first, were introduced earlier in the year or last year, I was introduced to AWL through, working the XUC shows. I would come in during XUC and AWL would be right after. Tough Daddy and them would ask me, hey, you want to stay around and hang around? Or depending on who I was driving with, if they were being used later on. Sometimes you were being used later on, TJ. So I'd stay the second show. The third show at that point, because you had NQW running first. So by the time AWL actually happened, people were pretty tired and exhausted. And a lot of things just weren't really moving along at that point. I feel the shows were very kind of slow, laggy. Matches happening, then 30-minute breaks. People nowhere to be found. They're calling the name, no one's coming out. A lot of just confusion and just not organized. But that's no longer the case, I have to say. I was very, very impressed, coming back. So I hadn't been to shows in quite a while. I've been taking kind of a little hiatus and doing some stuff with the family. But the president invited me out here. So did cameraman Mike. So I was like, let's make this happen. Let's go. So we came. And much different atmosphere. It was like boom, boom, boom. It felt, good going in there and seeing people actually, happy to be there. They weren't exhausted, they weren't tired, they weren't ready to go home, as I've seen in the prior, and also just the way people listened and moved along. Dan Biondi, Angel, they're both doing a great job helping Mike kind of keep things in straight. And I'm excited to see what the JWO will be able to do there now that you guys are title holders. There's a lot of different avenues. You're going to get a lot of opportunities. It's going to have to be, fighting defending champions, of course. But
I got no problem with that, brother. No problem whatsoever.
I mean, either I have no problem with that at all. Bring it on.
It's a whole new game, though, because then, you got this, very nice, well-organized wrestling federation on one hand that you guys are holding titles in. And then you got this really underground death cult kind of a fight club on the other hand here. And you're holding a title there.
That's where this title on this arm right here takes place in.
And that's it's totally different. They've never changed. It's always been a clusterfuck. You get brought in there, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who you're fighting, if you're living, if you're breathing, if you're going to eat, if you're going to see your family again, if your family even existed. Like, your whole world gets tossed upside down at a KPW show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just enough. Enough will scare you on this. If you're not used to it, you're a rook coming up into KPW. The first thing that is going to get you, and Killer is brand new to this too, because it hasn't exactly happened to you, but it will. When they come a knocking and they put that veil over your head, you're going to feel, you might feel 7 foot tall right now, but you're going to feel like this when you get that shit over your head and you start smelling this funky ass smell. It's not coming from the sack that they put over your face. It's where they're putting you when you got that sack over your face. When you smell that death smell and shit, that rotten meat,
that meat wagon smell
that
fresh.
comes out from underneath the armpits and shit on a real sweaty day. Yeah, that's the KPW meat wagon. And they're bringing you to a place where they're going to set you up with a cell phone and say, follow the ping. You'll follow the ping and you'll run into competition eventually. They'll tape it and whoever wins.
Now, let me ask you something, Killer, over there. You're looking kind of quiet. You're still kind of out of commission, a little bit of injury. But you were present at AWO. You were there to enforce. How was that experience?
Oh, it was amazing. That was one of the best shows that I've been on in a long, long time. It brought me back to shows that I was on, 15, 20 years ago. It was really well run. We had a lot of really good workers on that show. Some guys that I haven't seen in forever. It was great. It was a really cool experience. I was glad to have been there, even if I couldn't get in the ring and go myself.
I don't think a lot of people realize, that you are kind of you are a vet in this game. You're a well-trained machine. You took some time, but you were in the game. You know a lot of these guys, and you've been with a lot of these guys. Even down to tagging with Chris himself. You've been part of this, and that's why I think some people just don't get about that. They're like, oh, this new kid on the scene. It's not really a new kid on the scene, and they shouldn't take the Killer so lightly. And when you do get full force, you'll be another, force to reckon with. We were just getting going, and the other Fed, you were destroying the competition left and right. And then I said injury strikes. Unfortunately, that's, the name of the game. It's a very dangerous attack. But we are hoping to see you, in future KPW and in AWL action. And sooner than later.
That's what I'm working towards.
But yes, it was good seeing you be able to come out and accompany the boys. And, you have to be proud, Killer. Look what the president and vice president have done for us. Look what they brought.
Absolutely.
And we're pulling for you too, Killer. The best of luck and the
it.
best of positive vibes to get that knee rehabilitated to its fullest extent and then get you right back in that ring or yard, wherever the fuck KPW puts you, wherever the fuck AWL sends us, whatever.
Yeah, it's making progress. It's a little slower than I'd like, but I'm old. Injuries happen. It takes a little
Talk
longer
about-
to heal.
Yep.
Talk about being old.
It's funny though, because I was talking to a few wrestlers. Obviously there was a lot of guys. Oh, that was good. Picked up this new vape. It's called by Simply Herb, but it's double mint. It's like smoking a menthol. Shit's crazy, but really potent.
Oh,
But anyways, I was talking to a few of the boys, obviously at the show, because you talked before. And if you notice something about this show, because of the showcase show the night before, they had the double rings.
Right,
Next to each other. So we were talking, and one guy was like, if this was 20 years ago, I would, do a spot where I would dive from one ring to the other. But like looking at it now, I don't even think I could make it halfway without falling flat on my face. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. As a kid, we wouldn't even care if we fell on our face. It would be fine. Now we fall on our face, we're out. We're done. But yeah, the game changed a little bit with age, but the recovery time, that's major. It's a little bit slower. You don't recoup or bounce back as fast. But we are all pushing for you, Killer, to get back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on rehab and getting it going, and the strength isn't quite there yet, but it's getting better. It is slowly getting better. So
as long as you still have
fingers crossed.
as long as you still have the strength to swing the hatchet, though, that's most important.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We got people swinging gavels, swinging hatchets.
Yeah. It's been quite the trying time,
Yep.
But it doesn't have its bad rewards and shit. It's got some pretty good shit right here,
Oh yeah, right here.
Well, life is looking
absolutely.
good for you boys, right now. You guys are surrounded in gold. Things are looking up. Obviously it's nice being on top. Championships are great. And you guys worked to get there. It wasn't like it's just handed to you. It's taken you guys a long time to grab gold.
Yes, indeed.
Actually, the last title I seen you take was that KPW title, and that was almost 2 years ago. So,
yeah, this one right here, the KPW Interstate Championship, that was my first one. But before this, I was strapless from 2015 until I got this in 2021. No, 2022 actually.
Oh, was it 22? Yeah, beginning 22.
And we just got these just about a week ago.
Yeah, those are the new ones. They're nice and shiny. But that's the thing.
Tag team gold, baby, right there.
Yeah,
that's the difference between a professional federation.
Right,
that's the difference. They actually care about how their belts look. The founding fathers could give a fuck what less we wear. They just, gave us the bare minimum piece of shit to put around our waist and say, "Here, you're champion."
I actually told one off about the craftsmanship of what we get considered with titles, and he's like, you're lucky that we just don't have you chop off the heads of the people that you freaking wrestle and then carry them around spine first as trophies and freaking titles and shit. I said, bro, that's a little bit too fucked up and deep for me. Like, what fucking year are you living in? And he just turned around and walked away and shit, recorded something else. I'm like, the fuck is up with these people?
Coming around walking like Queen, like fucking Sheba
That's next show.
With all the heads on the fucking necklace.
These people think that we're the problem, dude.
Oh, I know, right? We're the fucking menaces here.
Yeah, we're the problem. We're the outcasts.
You motherfucker, you just told me that, you're lucky that it's not the days where you chop off the head and drag it around. That's my title. The fuck is the matter with you?
You don't want
craziness. Pure craziness.
Too fucking crazy.
And I just don't know. I mean, I've heard more shows to come soon. And it's just, they never give me a date. They just give me a time frame. So it's like, around this time, when it gets to that like week mark or 2 week mark out, I'm like, I start getting paranoid and nervous because All it takes is just, a split second, the meat wagon's here, the sack goes over, and you're taking it. It's fight day.
Yeah.
You never know. It's
Yeah.
just they don't give you a right time. You're never prepared.
Yeah.
So it gets kind of creepy around this time when it gets close to the dates as they give us.
What? Yeah. No. She's like, they got me to drop my jaw, Uncle Versace. Yeah, that's saying something. She's been here for over 450 years. You get Tabby to drop her jaw. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a joke for you guys, folks. I just saw it pop up on my screen. The Rook says that he's going to join the New England Pro Wrestling Academy.
Good for him.
Wait a minute. Is that what that freaking floating bubble is over there saying?
Well, he says he worked 5 minutes from the school now, which he does. He told me he does, but I mean, he's been telling me he wanted to go to that school for like 5 years and follow in the footsteps of Sasha Banks. I get that. You want to be a big WWE superstar.
Oh,
Here,
yeah, Mercedes Moné, yeah.
well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this, with Versace. I don't care about the WWE right now.
Oh.
I mean, had the oddities been in the in the mix right now,
Yeah.
I'd say let's go for it. Let's go for the gusto. Let's go work with the oddities. Let's go work with some good teams. Who are we gonna go work with over there? There's nobody that work with the JWO. I could care less about WWE
No way.
the JWO. There's nobody over there that can match us. AEW, maybe you could tango with some people. If you really want to know where you're gonna find people for JWO, it is gonna be in fucking either backyard, lower tier promotions, or fucking deaf fucking wrestling promotions like
Yeah.
GCW, No Peace Underground. These real hardcore promotions with real grungy, dirty wrestlers. You just
And
want
here
to tear the
comes-
fuck apart.
And here
Yep.
comes where KPW falls under, the underground level right there.
It is.
Right there.
And
That's where we
KPW is
are.
very, I'm going to tell you, KPW is very, 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 very far. Even though it has it in its name, is very far from a professional wrestling promotion. I think
Yeah.
they just put that in the title so they could get away and get their tax money back. But to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing professional about it. It's backyard, but
I personally probably think the professionalism part comes in because they see not just underground or backyarders come in and asking them for work. They also stretch their arm out to real independent wrestlers to get them to come on their shows.
they have.
I can't really say so much backyard on KPW more than a mixture of backyard and underground fight club shit, you know?
It is. I mean, well, that's what I was going to say. It's a backyard wrestling promotion, except unfortunately the backyard is in the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking horrorcore promotion.
Yeah. Beautiful word right there. I've said that before. Horrorcore.
Horrorcore. It's not really hardcore. It's not really, softcore. It's horrorcore. There is horror elements. I feel like half of the time I'm on the setting of fucking Saw. I don't know if someone's coming through the room and gonna fucking chop my leg off because I lost the match.
Right?
That's how I feel on that. With that promotion, and without there being, that's one thing. Okay, let's say we'll go to AWL show. We have a grievance during the show. I can go find, Mike in the back. I can go point to, hey, Maniac, I got to talk to you. We got an issue here. You have an issue at KPW. All you got is just their cameraman. I've seen you slap one around one time. They don't tell you much information. They don't tell you much about anything. There is no supervising people, but if shit goes sour, all of a sudden we're all gassed and put under, and we'll wake up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You saw me lay out that cameraman on KPW Fight Club. On that segment. It hasn't aired yet, but it will. But you saw me sucker punch that motherfucker. The one you weren't there for was the one at Rage in the Cage that followed me into the cage. He shot a promo of me. I was already in a pissed off mood, and this motherfucker just followed me. So I just started talking random. They turned it into a promo. And what they didn't tell you, I had to tell you on a fucking separate podcast that's on the KPW playlist. But after that fucking thing cut off, I broke the motherfucker's jaw. sent them to the hospital. It was that's two cameramen down on the River Rat Juggalos playlist right there.
That's what I'm saying. That's all they give us. There's nobody else to talk to. And like I said, if things get too serious, all of a sudden the room's filled with gas and we're fucking passed out and we wake up in another room or wake up back in our house and it's like it never fucking happened. And it's a living nightmare. There is no one to say, hey, I'm not getting a fair shake here. When am I going to get a, like, there's none of that shit here.
Yep.
Half of the times we're lucky to leave alive. I honestly say that. I don't say that to brag or gloat, but the shit gets dangerous. The ante seems to get higher and higher all the time in there. And the way they devise their matches and think about them, and a lot of them are really intricate now. They're getting more and more intricate in the way they want us to feel pain. That's what scares me. You know, their want isn't a good match. Their want is a lot of pain.
Yeah. I got that when I first realized that I had when I faced it in KPW's Fight Club, that first like match for Fight Club, I didn't know what match it was gonna be and shit, but they dropped me off at that location and it was a fucking gravel pit. And I was like, God damn, they really don't give a shit. All right, this is kind of new, but it brought me back to my old school backyard days. So I was like, all right, let's see if the back can handle this. And I took my fucking bumps on there because, man, I went through that shit. I gripped my teeth and I slugged through it. But, man, that shit fucking hurt. But still, I'm not going to give off any spoilers to that event. All I'm going to say is that it fucking hurt.
Well, I mean, so much can go wrong with gravel. I mean, people throw it in their eyes. People, it's just abrasion on the skin. It's not a nice substance to be jumping and fighting on. It's not even like grass or, even concrete. At least it's flat. Gravel has sharp edges sticking out of the little rocks. You wake up with, rocks embedded in your head. It's nuts.
You gotta even watch when you're breathing on the floor. If your opponent knocks you face down in that gravel, you gotta watch if you be breathing in heavy and shit, because you swallow one of them rocks, it's a choking hazard right there, bro. And you honestly think your opponent in KPW is gonna give a fuck to give you the Heimlich maneuver? Fuck no. That's a 1, 2, 3, walk away. I just won the match, motherfucker.
And they're not even gonna. And you know what? There's nobody there to
comes
even
and gets you now.
The ref will just walk away and go on to the next spot for the next fight, and the corpse will just be there rotting away.
That's what I was saying and shit. You better hope the medic come gets you right now.
And then at the end of the night, the other meat wagon comes and grabs you.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
Yep. No deposit, no return.
Killer's new into KPW. They dragged him in. We talked about that last time, pulling up his history and his past. Unfortunately, you're at a disadvantage and being a little injured. They're going to use that to their advantage.
Yep, I knew it was official when it came to Killer. The second that I saw that KPW letter, I said, "Oh yeah, this is serious." Because they always do you a letter before you're official there.
But let's be honest, even with one leg, I'm still more than any of their guys can handle, so it's all good.
I know you good, Killer. I know you good. I wouldn't have patched you in if I didn't think you couldn't handle yourself, brother.
I mean, let's just fucking laugh about one of their guys for a second. What about that fucking clown, Dojo Joe? I mean, he made an appearance in AWL after what, like 2 years of not even showing his face. You guys whooped his ass. I mean, beat the piss out of him.
Yeah.
And then he has the gall to open his mouth and start running it about KPW, picking places and times and so forth.
Yeah, did you see the way that I got back at him and shit? The way that I fired back at him? I wish I could get it on a live level so you could see the impression I was doing while I was typing that fucking thing. But I had to describe, using perfect Asian accent and everything. You want time? You want date? I give you time. I give you date.
Only you, TJ. Only you.
I mean, I have to say, he's got some fucking balls. Especially after the beating you just gave him. I mean, that was nothing nice. I've seen the footage. It was just, it was a
Right, and you
one-sided
know what?
beatdown.
Wait a minute, Keeper. You know what? Just in case, I hope I don't get flagged for racism for this, but just in case you don't understand English from what I write to you on Facebook, you hear me right now. I accept your challenge, Dojo Joe. Now you want me to name a time and a date and a place. I don't know the dates because KPW just isn't exactly like that. But you want the time? You want the place? All right. I'll be generous on this, motherfucker.
Oh
I'll be
boy.
generous on this. How
Surprised he's
about
being nice.
this is your choice now? You can either have me on the next fight that KPW wants to put on KPW Fight Club, or this blue piece of gold right here, or, 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 you wait till KPW Death Day 2, and you give me my competition for that show for this piece of blue gold. Is that clear? Am I getting to you? Hello? 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 Yes?
Hello, Joe.
Just wondering if you're paying attention out there, you stupid, red-geed, pathetic motherfucker. That's my challenge to you. So it's your choice. Either at the next KPW Fight Club for this interstate championship, or you face me at KPW Death Day 2. Either which way, this is also to the founding fathers. I don't care what match you put me in. The River Rat Juggalo will prevail. Won't, bitch. Take it
Well,
away,
there
son.
you have it on that matter, folks. And we will see what and if Dojo Joe even responds. Like I said, I mean, right where like he came onto our KPW kind of in the playing ground with a promo back in 2021, and then disappeared. And I thought I recognized him at that last show, and then I figured, definitely I recognized him after the beatdown, because I heard him talking, and and then he said he made you, and so like I said, just very very strange, but like I said, choice in the ball is now in his court. We'll see what he says. Maybe we'll even have him come on the show. I don't know if he's media trained yet. I don't know if he's media trained yet. I don't want to sound insensitive, but I don't know if he is. I don't know anything about the fucking dude. I've brought people on shows and have been like, I haven't been able to hear them because they can't.
Are you kidding? I got a funny feeling it'll be just like Apollo Creed and Dolph Lundgren and shit. You'll ask him a question. I'll be sitting right next to him. He won't answer it. I'll look at you and say, the dude's tongue didn't come through customs. Can you tell?
The only problem with that, though, is the Russian ended up killing the guy in the ring. He didn't need to talk.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that Apollo Creed, all parts, all kidding aside to the character and shit. That's one hell of a way to go out and everything. It was sad, don't get me wrong, but I do have to look at it from a warrior standpoint right now and say he went out doing what he enjoyed and what he loved, and that was fighting. That was being a warrior, the battle. He fought and he lost in life and battle.
That is true. That is true.
And we at KPW, no matter where we are in any Fed, we are the warriors. If it comes down to it one day, it comes down to it.
We all know how KPW's founding fathers play. And it's not nice. It's not clean. It's very dirty. They use dirty tactics. They use dirty tricks, a lot of manipulation, a lot of scare tactics. But the scary part is a lot of the times they can back up their words. I'm not talking about the pathetic fighters they throw at us, but the actual, living, breathing, fighting, founding fathers. Oh, and there's a general.
Whoa! I'm wondering if that phone is set up on a table. Can you tap that table with that bat right there, Mr. Pickles? Ah, there we go. We got a green light, so now you can see him right there. It was a short little time right there, but that's our General Pickles right there. Perfect, perfect. At least this time you got a nice little rate right there, Able to see it on the podcast. It's beautiful.
Yep. And
And
that's another thing.
I'm still
That's
working.
another thing that's going to be to our advantage in KPW this time around is our General Pickles. He wasn't there last time. They know nothing of Pickles. He's our secret weapon, and he's going to do a hell of a lot of damage when he gets his hands on those founding fathers.
Yes, he is.
See
Yes,
that?
indeed. I've had many meetings with him discussing about what I feel about certain people over there. And one way or another, there's two people lined up in target when it comes to KPW Death Day 2. Technically, now that I'm thinking about it, that would that'd be maybe 2 or 3 now if I'm including Dojo Joe now. But another one in particular is someone who's not on the card yet. I know he'll be there because he's a creepy little fuck and he likes to hang around shit. I see him in the shadows, thinking that no one can really see him. I see your little hillbilly dressed Raggedy Ann ass and shit, Twinkle Toes. I'd be seeing you all the time over in the darkest areas of each arena, thinking you picks over here. I don't fucking think so, motherfucker. You ain't the correct type of clown and shit. But I'll tell you right now, if you are anywhere in that vicinity of KPW Death Day 2, and I know you probably are going to be, I got something for you. You feel free anytime you want. Any type of match. Anywhere, anytime on that card. Do your worst. And I swear to God, everything that I own on me right now, on my motherfucking hatchet, the walls, keyword, the walls, will come crumbling down. So Twinkle Toes, come to Death Day 2. Come to Death Day 2. Trust me. Dojo Joe, you number 1. Twinkle Toes, you coming right in over here. Now, as far as anybody else goes for the JWO during Death Day 2, whatever goes around is what's going to come around, motherfucker. That's all I'm going to say on that.
This is going to be one hell of a show, folks. It's going to be like nothing ever seen or done before. The characters this time are 10 times darker than last time. I mean, after they got rid of some of those other people and you finished off a few of them yourself, even didn't get that belt. These next set of wave of fighters are just more darker than ever. They're evil. They're pure evil. I even heard your old nemesis Ray Ranson might be lurking around too, and that's another person that has had his eye on that KPW title.
Really? Well, if it's Ray, I know that the stakes will be the same, but I definitely know that we will probably go into the match having respect for one another, because after that podcast interview, it was supposed to be me and Ray head to head and everything, and it sort of was. It was in the beginning of that, and there was a good ration shit about that whole thing.
But then the warehouse fire in KPW shut it down.
If you take a look at that interview in retrospect, though, we ended that thing off respectfully, me and Ray. And basically we said, if we ever do the Watuppa death match, what type of death fight, whatever the fuck they called it. It's going to be out of respect. And yes, it will be for this right here, the KPW Interstate Championship. I'll gladly defend that against Ray Ranson.
I mean, I heard the
Ray
names.
Ranson, yeah, definitely.
I've heard the names and the rumors, and I remember that interview, like I said, and that match was almost set in stone. Again, me and Ray have also kind of talked and hashed things out from that, vicious assault that took place at Rage in the Cage, and you came to my help, and that's kind of where this kind of beef started, and our partnership kind of formed. You were a real brother that day. You came to my aid, and we talked about things, and you were like, kind of took me under your wing after that. And you did have this beef with Ray and in KPW, and it was, growing and growing. And then, like I said, the warehouse fire, and everybody was just kind of shut off, and KPW just went, completely, off the grid. Pretty smart, considering, of being such a massive organization that can orchestrate such things, to just hide like that. And believe me, I was searching day and night. I did so many, private investigations of shit because I wonder where the fuck everything went. It's like, one of those circuses you go to one day, and then when you go back, it's gone. The whole thing. It's like, is this just a bad acid trip? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know, right?
I got different people over here in Hall 6's Carnival campgrounds. I'm gonna let a little thing slide right now on some secret shit there. We got several different areas at the Carnival campground site of Hall 6. Now, we got a nice little place called Tent City. That's where all of the normal residents of this fucking place live. I'm working on my own little, drywall hut and everything too and shit. Right now I'm in my normal tent and shit. I got some little bit of some like wall material up here, but it's not much. But I'm working on a little place for me and Tabitha be a little bit more better in the weather and shit. Maybe indoors to get some insulation. But Tent City will always be right there. And then we got our other place that's strictly just for the hierarchy and JWO members, and that's Club Hatchet. And that's also where the rec room, the real rec room, not just the bubble that we chat on here, is at. That's where we hold our chapels and our meetings and everything and shit. So it's coming along nicely over here and shit. And I'm very, very proud of the progression over here. We're taking it day by day. That's all you can do. And that's where we're at right now. So things are going to be a little bit different.
That is great. Just really, like I said, excited for the future of all this, especially with now you guys holding gold around your waist. Between, like I said, all that's going to take place in AWR. Plus, we got all this KPW action coming our way with all these people that want to fight you. And, when they fight you, they fight us all. So it's a battle for us all. When they're going to gun for our, president, they got to get through a killer. They got to get through a keeper. They got to get through a vice president. They got to get through a general. There's a lot of levels they got to get through before they can even get to you. And I hope they're prepared to go take the challenge, go the depth, because it gets pretty deep here. We're not, just some kind of, just fun-loving clowns that like to, sit around and juggle our balls here. Okay, exactly. We're pretty twisted and demented our freaking selves. And
damn right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
KPW's founding fathers shouldn't take us so lightly.
Well, that's what lineage of richness and ill-gotten wealth and everything and shit is progressed out there for them. That's just them. Just like we can't stop being us, well, they can't stop being themselves. This is how they grew up. Well, this is how we grew up. To be honest with you, I actually prefer to do my shit. If you're going to do the shit in the shadows, be a little publicized about it. Make a name for yourself. That way, people understand not to fuck with you. You come in from the shadows all the time like Batman, like the KPW founding fathers want to do. Motherfucker, that's a little bit of pussy action if you ask me. And yeah, I'm always going to step up to the plate to the founding fathers. Why?
Yep.
Why? Simple. You guys fucked up completely. Now you have me for an enemy for pretty much my whole career in this Fed. I will say this one last time before KPW Death Day 2 and this whole fucking thing ends. Never. You should have never, ever brought my motherfucking daughter in on this fucking mess. You fucked yourself up with a 10-foot dildo that motherfucking day. And now, retribution is a coming, my brothers. Oh yes, retribution shall come.
Whoop whoop.
Yep.
Whoop, motherfucking whoop.
You know, and we're just about, with that note, we're just about out of time, Press. It's been a great episode of Joking Around, you know, and a lot of serious talk, a lot of things to look forward to. We got a lot of competition. We got a lot of strategizing to do. Being the keeper, I've got a lot of strategies and different plans of action that you can take against anybody that these people are throwing at you. But I've been doing my work to follow up on, you know, and do all the investigating of Dojo Joe I can. And, you know, I have my eyes on Ray and anybody else, like I said. And I know the stories of Twinkle Toes. I will find out answers on that too. And I will find out all this and what you're going to have to do to defeat these people. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we didn't make it to the top just to lose it. We want to keep that belt in the JWO, just like we want to keep those AWL belts in the JWO and keep, you know, the campgrounds happy. Keep everything flowing. Keep that big Ferris wheel spinning. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely.
Until the next Clowning Around, have yourself a great night.
Whoop, whoop.
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 Really funny, TJ. Really, really funny. Well, guess what? I accept your offer. We'll see you at that day. You will be dancing or dying.